Today in Miss Samuelson's class, you're going to get the chance to taste 3 different kinds of apples. After tasting these apples, you will pick the colored apple that you like the best, and we will graph the results of everyone's favorite apple. But first, we need to learn the steps of graphing using a picture graph. First, we need to look at which color everyone picked for their favorite apple. We need to organize these apples by colors so that it is easier to put into our picture graph. The apple colors are red, yellow, and green. Now that they are organized by color, let's count how many of each color we have. Let's start by counting the red apples. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red apples. Next, let's count the yellow apples. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow apples. So next we must count the green apples. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green apples. Now that we have all of our data organized, we are ready to get our picture graphs all set up. This is what our graph will look like before anything is added. The first thing we need to do is add a title. Since our data has to do with tasting different kinds of apples, we will title this graph Apple Tasting. On the left side of the graph, we will list 3 different colored apples that we are working with: red, yellow, and green. We will name this side of the graph Apple Colors. So the last side of the graph that we have to name is the bottom of the graph. When using a picture graph, we have to use a key. This key tells us what the picture we are putting into the graph means. In this case, one picture will equal one person's favorite apple choice. Woohoo! Now you are ready to graph. First, we will graph the apples like you see here. We have 9 red apples. Make sure that you look at your labels on the left-hand side of the graph so that you put your pictures in the right row. Next, we will graph the yellow apples. The yellow apples will be placed in the second row under the red apples. Lastly, we will graph the green apples. They go on the last row of the picture graph, right under the yellow apples. Now you all know how to graph using a picture graph. It's time to taste your own apple so that we can get started graphing.